Hello everyone, I'm Gabriel and this is the Rise Atlantis show. Hallelujah. There's a new change in the format of the show now. I'm now starting to upload in the mornings now because the difficulty of having to try to upload at 12, 1, and 2 in the morning, the difficulty of that is it conflicts with internet providers refreshing their services and schedule maintenance. I presume stuff like that makes stuff come to a standstill. And my brother, he games every night. He plays video games every night, and it's just a complete lag every time I'm uploading, and it gets to the point where it really messes up internet big time. So now I'm starting to have to upload in the mornings now, and this throws a real big monkey wrench into everything. Because not only was my live streaming paused for a few months, but now also I'm not able to upload videos at night, which is probably better because it's already too late. People are already going to sleep, so it's probably better I upload in the mornings. But at the same time, it's weird because when I get my live streaming back going, I don't want it to be in the morning where I do my live streaming. So I'm thinking of having like a 30-minute live stream at night. I don't know. I don't know how to work it yet, but it's a plan coming. I hate how things keep changing. It seems when things change, things mess up, and we just gotta keep rolling with the changes. I hate it. I really hate it. So the topic of the day will be about I talked in my last video about quarantines of super plagues. Well, today I'm going to talk about a different kind of quarantine, which is mainly quarantining our rooms, whether it be our bedrooms, living rooms, what have you. Quarantining our rooms, basically bug-proofing our rooms, not really necessarily quarantining of cleaning for sicknesses, but basically quarantining, bug-proofing our rooms. So it will be an interesting topic tonight because I will talk about stuff people have not thought about before. So it's a very interesting topic. Now we'll go ahead and get into the news. Let's see here. So when I have the internet to my room, I'm even gonna run a long 100-foot cord, which is really cheap. You can get it for $10-15 online, so not bad. I thought it was gonna be like $50, $70, $80, $100. Good thing $10-15 is very affordable. So the first news story is heat shield for NASA's Mars 2020 rover cracks during test. Can you believe it? The heat rover for Mars 2020. I said heat rover. The heat shield for the Mars rover, it cracked and broke. This was, I guess, during tests, so they haven't launched it yet. But they're gonna launch it in 2020. Let's see here. It says Mars 2020 mission will use aspects of the design for its project. Let's see here. It fractured. But it says that it won't change the launch date. It's designed to search the red planet's surface for signs of microbial life. And the rover will look for habitable environments. Now, why can't they send this rover to go investigate the face on Mars? Let's see if it's a real face on Mars, or is it just a freak occurrence of the lighting and all? Why is NASA not sending it to the face on Mars? And pyramids. There's pyramids that are visible on Mars. Could it be real? I think so. So why is NASA not doing this? We need to hold NASA accountable. We need to, I don't know, somehow, some way, get NASA to the table and really press NASA to go explore these monuments. Because I bet you they've already done it. They're just keeping it secret from us, and it's not right. Nothing should be top secret from us. This is NASA, for crying out loud. Everything should be revealed to us. Now with the military it's different, like with the Geraldo Rivera controversy, where he was saying where the troops were on the news. You can't say that. You know, that's different. That should be confidential. But come on, man. NASA is open source to us all. They need to disclose everything, man. Next story. Police. This is a funny story. Police traffic camera catches a speeding duck on a city street. This is funny here. Okay, so I thought it was walking. Turns out it was flying. Well, that makes more sense. Because if it was walking, I'd be like, well, how did it pick it up, you know? There's it flying down the street. This is a faraway shot. Now this makes more sense, because first I was thinking that it was walking, which would have been more funnier. It should have been where it picked up walking. You know, these street cameras, they're so precise. It boggles my mind how they have the technology where it can literally track almost an ant crawling on the floor. Maybe not that much, but it can track a cat or dog, you know, which is pretty small in comparison to a human. So boggles my mind the technology we have. Could be good and bad, you know. As the saying goes, with the sword bears the wielder or something like that. What? Basically, it is on the hand of the beholder, the eye of the beholder, and all that. You know, basically meaning, you know, if it falls into the wrong hands, like in the movies, the world is doomed. I mean, the world is already doomed as it is, man. Not to sound doom and gloom, but you know, just stating the fact that this world really is in really bad shape, and our Lord is returning to bring us out of this horrible realm. Amen. Hallelujah. Ain't nothing better than our Lord's return. So pretty funny. Okay, so first I was thinking that was that the duck was running. That would have been more funnier. But it was flying by. At 32 miles per hour, yeah. I mean, they catch speeding cars and everything. The technology we have, man. Speaking of technology, what if it glitches? Do these street cameras glitch and give people wrong tickets? We need to debate all that. We need to really bring all the issues to the table here and have like a round table meeting discussion like the Knights of the Round Table here. Next story. Trump assails White House Correspondents Association amid Michelle Wolf's controversy. Okay, what did I just read? It was like, what? That Trump is building... No, assails, it doesn't mean building. Sales. That means he's going after. Basically, it's Michelle Wolf. She was like really bashing Trump, but like to the point of regular. Like it was like, I don't know what's the difference here. I don't even know what she said. Cause I work all day. I never have time for anything, man. It seems I used to be so glued to the news, but now that I've been working, it's like I feel I'm missing signs, man, and it's horrible. I hope the Lord provides more signs to us all. To get us all excited of our Lord's return. And man, we gotta get excited of His return. We gotta get so mesmerized, so enraptured with the rapture, man. We gotta, like, you know, I'm telling you, man, tell everyone the good news. Our Lord's returning, you know. Let's see here. So what did she say? They're not saying what she said. but Trump called her filthy. He said, put dinner to rest or start over. So they're not really saying what she said. He said, she said, the who, what? Let's see. It's like, there's way too much here. They're not saying what she said. Gotta go digging through all these words just for it, man. It's like, oh my god, let's see here. Not a single quote at all. Trump says she couldn't even deliver her lines, much like the Seth Meyers weak performance. My God, can you believe you have to do a Google search just to see what she said? It is like outrageous, man. Let me see her. What's her name again? Michelle what? Wolf? Let's see. I can't believe I have to Google what she said. Let's see here. What did Michelle Wolf say about Trump? And loading. Five takeaways. This pretty much sums it up here. Don't tell me this is the same article. Wolf has zero interest in playing to the room. Wolf wait for lots of low-hanging fruit. Let's see here. Wolf's criticism of the media was generally on point. The abortion stuff was beyond the pale. Wolf got exactly what she wanted. So, I mean, she's just basically talking about the same thing. Well, I hate to say I couldn't get no clear quotes of what she said. Pretty weak story, I must say. Next story. Trump, yeah, that's the same one here. Okay, this was really big. Let's see here. T-Mobile and Sprint agreed to merge. It's like this. The saying goes: if you can't beat them, join them. If you can't beat them, join them. And it's wrong what the CEO of Toys R Us is not letting the CEO of the brass company, Little Tikes company, that the CEO of Toys R Us is not letting that other person buy out Toys R Us. That's not right. It's wrong. To save all those people's jobs, this charger keeps falling off. To save all those people's jobs, they should that guy should be forced. The owner of Toys R Us should be forced to let that other person buy them out. It's wrong. You know, I mean, it's weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff, man. Like Drake says, bad things. It's a lot of bad things happening in this world, man. So it's not right, you know, not right at all. I like Drake, you know. He has very Christian, and not just Christian like in the general sense, but like advanced. How should I say it? He has very intelligent ways to talk about the rapture, like that song "Truffle Butter," where he says, "Is you here right now? What? We should all disappear right now. What?" And I said that video. He's talking about like to disappear out of the club, through the VIP in the back way, into a limo to a fancy restaurant in the night. He's also talking about literally, you know, Is you here right now? What? We should all disappear right now. What? And you know, we shouldn't see disappearing as death or anything like that. We shouldn't see it as, oh, could there be a glitch in the Matrix? Will there be souls that won't be uploaded into heaven? You know, we should have 100% faith knowing that our God will not have a glitch at all in the global upload of our souls into heaven. That would be a good name for another video later on. Is the Rapture is the global upload of our souls into heaven. Hallelujah. Pretty awesome indeed. Next story. One more time, good. Trump expected to address NRA's annual meeting. So it looks like he's going to give some tough words to the NRA. Next story. Migrants who travel with Caravan vowed to wait at border until they are granted asylum. They're in places of San Diego. I mean, this is all along the border. So I'm here in El Paso, Texas, where I live, and definitely seeing build up, man. Now I'm surprised they're not talking more about El Paso. You know, I mean. It seems most of it is happening around the Tijuana border in California. Why are they all going towards California? I mean, I don't know. It makes me wonder. I hate to say it, but we can't let everyone in. You know, it's draining our resources of not just food stamps, but everything else, government assistance, and are we letting terrorists in, you know? I mean, it's like, it's really taking a toll, man, you know? I'm not saying to shut everyone out either, but there needs to be a structure. A restructure needs to happen. Because everything's falling apart, man. Everything's falling apart. And most of them are building up right now in Tijuana, right next to San Diego, California. The Tijuana border. That's where a lot of the drugs are. I hate to say it, but a lot of Mexican drugs are based in Tijuana. You get more of it in Tijuana than you do in Juarez and towards by Brownsville and all, Texas. You get the majority of the drugs in Mexico in Tijuana. I don't know what it is about it, man. But there are very big Mexican cartels in Tijuana. And they pose a problem to immigration. And Trump has a real big mess on his hands. He has a real big complicated issue he's about to face here. So I'm for people finding a better life here in America, but I'm also what's the word? Leery or weary? Weary means you get tired. Leery sounds like you're talking about Timothy Leary, the guy who tried to legalize acid and all that. You know, so I really don't know the exact word to use here. Weary? I mean, I guess I'm concerned. Let's put it like that. I'm concerned about people immigrating to America. Like the saying goes, I'm on both sides of the fence here, man, you know. I don't know. I wish we could make everything free overnight like that, but it just ain't happening because the powers that be want to keep controlling the world. You know? Well, it's not right. We're at a time now where if we can't make everything free, we can almost make everything almost free through a systematic structure of the workforce. It's called systematic order, but people say, oh, it's New World Order, so I avoid the word order, you know, it's like systematic structure of the workforce. You want to have it flow with flair, then find it. A systematic structure of the workforce. And Anytime you mention the word order, oh my God, you get all these radical people saying, I'm trying to start a new world order here, you know. I will say this though. Jesus and God is bringing us to their new world order. And if atheists and evil people don't like it, they're going to have to fix their faces. They're going to have to repent, man. They're going to have to get right with God. Because if not, God's going to have to turn up the heater on them, man. He's going to have to turn up the heat. Basically raise the thermostat on evil people if they don't repent. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it to see evil people burning in hell. You know, I don't feel any sympathy at all for them. There ain't no sympathy for the devil here, man. Now, to the wayward souls, we say a prayer for them. We say God can really see their situation, you know, and really know their hearts. But these people, these unrepentant murderers who are laughing in their court cases and getting put to death, and they're laughing every second of the way, I'm like, no, they're just as bad as Bin Laden and Hitler, man, you know. They don't have no entry into the kingdom of heaven, you know. It's like the Bible says, like Jesus said. Was it? I don't think Jesus said it, but the angel said it. I believe they told John in Revelation. They said, let us give back to them what they have done to us. Basically talking about the people who murder righteous people. You know, that they need to be tormented in hell forever. Yes, it is justified. It is their karma. You know, it is their karma. And just like Jesus said this in the Bible, that in the last days after the rapture, that they will long seek for death but will not find it. Everyone that is burning in hell will long to seek for death, but they will not find it. They will not even get a single drop of water. And in heaven, we got it all, man. We got it all in heaven. Everyone knows about heaven and hell. Everybody knows about this utopia and this fiery lake of fire. Everyone knows it, man. You get the most remote tribe in the world, and they know it. And they know it, man. So this is very concerning, man. It seems they're trying to flood into America more than they did under Obama's presidency. So like I said, I'm on both sides of the fence here. You know, I'm Hispanic, you know, so I have compassion for people in these very, very poor countries, you know. But then again, we can't let the whole world in. I mean, we need a solution. Systematic structure of the workforce. You know, we shift jobs around. It's called the job shifting movement. A few days of work a month pay for all living expenses. It's this message, you know, a simple message I can never get to the world. For some reason, I've been saying it so much for so long, and it never happens. People never talk about it on the news, on the TV mainstream news, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. No one ever comes on and mentions this idea. I've sent emails to so many politicians and people, companies, organizations, you know, and I've never gotten a single response. I feel like I've done so much, man. I have talked about this job shifting movement for so long, and it's been falling on deaf ears for so long, and I am very outraged. And not to the point where I'll do an attack. Of course, I would never do that, because I'm a Christian, you know. I don't want to get on God's bad side. I don't want God to be disappointed with me, you know. I don't want God to, you know, because a lot of people see, like, oh, they have to do something radical, something violent just to get attention. No, you don't. You know, I just haven't had the money yet to really pour into advertising and different stuff yet. You know, it's very complicated. But we don't have to do violent protests to make change. It actually hurts our cause. You know? It's just, the trick is how to do it. That's the question. But I believe this job shifting movement will happen. I don't know how or when. But the powers that be seem they want to keep this from happening. So, I don't know, man. Next story. Trump slams lousy location of London embassy ahead of summer visit. Let's see here. What do you say? Let's see here. The $1 billion embassy moved from its long-standing state in Grosvenor Square, central London, to its new home at 9 Elms South of City in January. Now, one of the things I like of what Trump said is how he was talking about the U.S. Embassy in Israel, and how first they wanted to get it built for like $10 million or something like that. Absurd amounts of money. But Trump said, no, that's absurd. We could get it built for only $300,000. And people said, oh, well, Trump, we could get it built for like $5,000 or $10,000. But then Trump was saying, well, it won't have everything needed, like security and all. It won't have everything needed, and it won't be as nice as $300,000. And he said $300,000 is very cheap, and I don't mean cheap as in not fancy, not nice. Very affordable, you know, compared to $10 million. You know, and I like how Trump is really being saving money like this, you know, and like putting enough money to make it secure, because we need to have it secure. They're in a hotbed, man. They're in a very dangerous part of the world, you know, and the U.S. Embassy in Israel, Jerusalem, may be attacked, so that's why we need to have it bomb-proof. We need to have it like Fort Knox, basically. I'm not even sure Fort Knox is still around. I heard they moved it. But we need to have it like an impenetrable fortress. You know, impenetrable fortress. It needs to be like iron steel, man. Ironclad. You know, so it's like, I'm telling you, man. So, I do like that about Trump. And it's weird, if y'all didn't hear, Trump's hotel, and where was it? It's somewhere in the Middle East. I forgot what it was called. Goya or something like that. It might be somewhere in Africa, I don't know. But it caught fire. They say maybe it could have been arsonists, terrorists. So it's weird stuff. Now, remember, one of his towers recently caught fire again. It might have been New York, I'm not sure. This was like 4 months ago. Weird stuff. And last story. U.S. doubles down on tracking North Korea ahead of Trump-Kim meeting. Which means they're going to be sending more satellites, zooming into North Korea, making sure that they are not building nuclear reactors. And not just that, they're going to have to allow the UN inspectors in. Remember Saddam Hussein kept kicking out the UN inspectors? That's one thing we got to give credit for George Bush on. That, you know, the proof was there. Even though we didn't find the weapons of mass destruction when we went into Iraq, we did find them later on. Little by little, been trickling out. So we do have to give George Bush Jr. some credit, you know, that I didn't believe the war on Saddam Hussein and Iraq was justified at first. But looking back on it now, and all the things that, you know, the proof that has been trickling out, and, you know, and Saddam Hussein kicked out UN inspectors. Looking back on it now, you know, I believe it was the best decision. Even though we have ISIS now, you know, I mean, it still would have been ISIS 2.0 with Saddam Hussein also. So imagine Saddam Hussein teaming up with Gaddafi and all these other dictators, and all funding Hamas and Al-Qaeda. That's what we would have happened. That's what we would have seen happen. We would have seen instead of ISIS, we would have seen, I was going to say Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda. We would have seen Al-Qaeda as ISIS is now, you know. So who knows? Maybe it would have been worse. Think about that. Maybe it would have been worse if Saddam Hussein teamed up with Gaddafi and all these other people. And what if 9/11 didn't happen? Now think about this scenario. What if 9/11 didn't happen? And they kept building something up to something greater. And they would have struck with nuclear bombs on us if we were not prepared for 9/11. So say if 9/11 were to never happen, we'd still be so easy-go-lucky, think everything is nice and peachy, you know, till all of a sudden these terrorists would have crept in with nuclear bombs and blown up cities left and right. Imagine 5, 10, 20, 50 cities all exploding with nuclear bombs at the same time. Live on the news as well. It'd be a horrible thought. A horrible event. I hope it never comes down to that. So that is one thing 9/11 did provide an outcome on, is we got tough on terrorists. But, you know, people are working here in America to try to make nuclear bombs themselves without uranium and plutonium, you know, to make these dirty bombs of radiation. They're trying to make bombs, how should I say it, with other means, alternative sources, you know, so it's very crazy. They could possibly create a huge enough bomb out of basic chemicals, and, you know, it's a red herring, it really is. It's a harbinger of terrorism 2.0 to come, so we need to be one step ahead of the curve, man. And we need to prevent all that stuff, you know. So, Trump has said he's going to be surveillancing North Korea more, which is good. Because, yeah, even though they might not be creating more nuclear reactors, what they could be doing is building more underground ones. They try to keep it so hush-hush, top secret, and we don't find out about it until it's too late. So they may be doing a dog and pony show on this, you know, like the pin the tail on the donkey, you know, like it's all a sleight of hand magic trick, you know. They're saying they're doing all this, but for all we know, they may be building underground nuclear reactors to fool us. So you should be cautious about that, because it's weird. First, the government has been trying to create nuclear bombs. They've been trying to create nuclear weapons for so long. Then why, out of a sudden, like overnight, they're saying they want to give up nuclear bombs and they want to make peace in this and that. Something strange is afoot. I think it's all a front, because they've done this before. They said, okay, we'll strike a deal, and they've been caught in lying and still firing up their reactors. So I think this is just another stunt. They just keep pulling our chains, man. They keep pulling our strings like we're puppets, you know. But we ain't puppets. We see through the lies, man. And I really believe that North Korean government is just doing a front, and all this is just a very big game of charades here, you know. So now we'll go ahead and get into the topic of the day. This is a very big one. A very big one, because who on earth would love to have spiders and roaches crawling on them and waking them up in their sleep? Now, there are some weird people out there. The goths, for example, they're into all that stuff, you know, with roaches running around everywhere. And flying roaches. Don't you just hate flying roaches? It's bad enough when a roach is running on the ground. It's even worse when they're flying at you, man. Now, a fly, I mean, I don't mind, you know, because they're smaller, they're not as creepy and gross. But roaches, man, the sounds they make, oh my god, you know. This is why we really need to quarantine our rooms and bug-proof our rooms. And I'll go over things that is very overlooked all the time that we don't think about. You know, so hopefully I could prevent roaches and spiders from creeping into people's rooms. Hopefully I could be some kind of hero and prevent all that from happening. So this should be like a main information everyone should know about. They need to talk about this on the news, on mainstream TV news. So first, I'll get into what is the easiest way from the outside that insects could come into our houses. I'll give you a hint. It's up on top. It's on the ceiling. It is the air conditioners. So I hate to say it. I mean, some of the new air conditioners are getting so advanced where it like doesn't have any gaping holes they could come in from. Microscopic and all. But the way they make them is where there are huge gaping holes to allow more airflow in. And that's not good because that's more easier access. You can even get bees. And no one wants us being stung by bees, you know. No one wants bees flying in our houses, in our rooms, you know. Especially stinging us in our sleep. So this is very concerning. And it's very important. People need to know about this. So the best way to stop insects from coming in our air conditioners is, I mean, you could put some kind of screen on the air conditioner outside, but the way they work is they spin, you know, you can't really get a good barrier protection around that. So the only option you're left with is in the air vents in your room. The air vents. Now me, I have my air vents completely sealed with duct tape. That's probably why they call it that. Duct tape. It's not duck like a waddling duck. It's duct. D-U-C-T. And that's what an air duct is. So they probably created that tape with the purpose of sealing that off. And so I have mine sealed off because the main air conditioner, it gave out. So we've been using the swamp coolers. So with the air ducts sealed off. Now you could put a screen if you don't want it to be completely blocked off. You know, they have them where you can open and close, but even if you close it, they could still crawl up and in. You know, these roaches and spiders, they squeeze their way, they push through, and they break in, they infiltrate, you know. And so you could put a very thin screen. Don't have the screen too big, because, you know, some of these spiders and roaches could get like baby roaches. You gotta have it like microscopic little holes that creates a screen barrier. And you put that on your air duct. Now, if you use the air conditioners like the swamp coolers, I have my swamp coolers blocked off also, because I really don't need air conditioning even in the summer. People complain, but you know, one, I save more money instead of using it. Two, I had the full satisfaction knowing ain't no insects coming in. Because even if you already have a screen, you can get those small mosquitoes in, small gnats, or what are they called? Those flying insects, fruit flies? I don't know, they're by fruit. I don't know, man. They're like certain kind of insects. I don't know what they're called. But, even with a screen like that, you could still get insects in. So, I don't know, man. You know, nothing really grinds my gears more than insects. Roaches and spiders are the things I cannot stand the most. Now, if they're small spiders, yeah, I don't mind. I mean, they still bite you. They're still a nuisance. But at least they don't run so fast and so creepy as a roach. See, with the roach, I mean, yeah, they run around so fast, so like if you're in a room for like at least 5 minutes, you'll notice it running by. That's one of the good things about it. One of the bad things about it, it's very hard to catch them. They always run around so fast because they just keep running and running, you know. And one of the good things about it is they always run into your field of sight, your field of vision. So that's one of the good things. But you know, I hate roaches because they run up all of you all of a sudden without knowing, you know. So I bring up this story because last year in the summer, I had the air conditioners on, both of them, when I was working. When I came back home, I'll never forget this. It was raining at night. And I guess the roaches wanted to avoid the water on the ground. So they found the walls and were climbing up the walls. And they found the air conditioners. I guess the coolness of it and everything attracted them to them. It brought them to it. And then, I mean, it sounds hard to believe that insects could creep in through our swamp coolers, but it did happen to me. I had one roach each in 2 rooms. And I remember when I came home and went into my room, I didn't even know it was there at the time. I saw it a little bit later, and then I killed one, and then I went to the other room to check, and sure enough, there was another one there, and I was like, oh my god, man. So that's when I decided to put screens up on the swamp coolers. Now what happened yesterday is my dad really got on my nerves because he removed the screens without telling me when I was at work. Removed both of the screens, and when I came back, I was almost infuriated, man. I was almost so furious that I was about to just lose it, man. I was about to snap like this. So I kept making sure that there weren't any insects in my room, and thank God they weren't. So the reason he removed the screens was because he said that supposedly that the swamp coolers, they heat up and it could pose a fire risk and this and that and blah blah blah. I mean, I've never felt it that hot before, so I think he just wanted to get back at me. He wanted to make me angry because he got on my nerves the same day in the morning when I was about to go to work, and I had the van running and I was putting stuff up really quick, and he came and said, "You're wasting gas and this and that." And I'm like, he didn't mind his own business, man, you know, and he made me lose it, you know. And so I think this is why he got back at me. You know, he did it on purpose because I've never felt these swamp coolers hot enough like that. So, you know, I don't know, man. But supposedly he says, oh yeah, it could cause a fire risk. So I'm like, whatever. So what I did is I completely shut them, sealed them up again. Because I don't want to have it where, like, if you remove and unremove, I don't want to buy the covers because, one, it's hard finding them in the right size. 2, they're so expensive. They're like $30, $40. And for 2 of them, $60, $70? You know, I ain't going to spend that much money on something so stupid like that. You know? And even then, what if you have it open and you have it running and you see a roach crawling through the swamp cooler? By then, it's already too late. You can't send it back out. You have to kill it, and that's horrible. So, I say it like this: just completely block the thing completely. You know, I don't want mosquitoes coming in and biting me. It's bad enough we get bit when we're outside. It's even worse when they're biting us in our sleep. You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but they crawl in our nose and our mouth when we're asleep. And, you know, I want to have my room quarantined where there's not even mosquitoes flying around. You know? So, quarantining our rooms. This is what the topic of the day is. And a very, very big one, too. Because everyone needs to know about this stuff. Because people see it like, oh, a swamp cooler. It's just that they don't think that insects could crawl in. And they do. I know firsthand it has happened. I've even seen one crawling in from the air ducts. So, you know, that's why I see it like, I just block it all out completely. Now, I mean, how am I going to be able to handle the summer if it gets so hot? I remember summers before, well, without the air conditioner, that it'd be so hot. I'd have the fan on, and it's still so hot. Now, it's not summer yet, so when it comes, man, I don't know how I'm really going to deal with it. Because I don't want to have these swamp coolers on again. And I don't want to have to take that risk of them, you know, marching in one by one. You know, it's horrible stuff, you know. So, it's really crazy indeed. You know, insects, man. You know, our rooms are like our fortresses, man. And we can't open our rooms up to all these insects crawling left and right. For all we know, we could get, seriously, bees coming in through our swamp coolers. I know it sounds hard to believe, but what they do is they go and they squeeze their way, they push in, you know? And they push in through the mesh and the filters and all that stuff and the padding and all. I mean, people think that it is completely blocked off and they're bug-proof. Swamp coolers are not bug-proof. Yeah, they probably make some that cost more, but they don't work as good and this and that. I don't know, man. All I know is that I don't take that chance. I completely sealed up the swamp coolers, you know, and just... So I don't know how I'm going to make it cool in the rooms in the summer. I've looked on some where you can buy portable air conditioners. There's some where you can even put ice in. I'm looking into that. It's only $20, $30. Yeah, I'd rather do that instead of a cover. You're still taking a gamble on it when it's open and running, you know. And you can't be watching it every single second, minute, you know. And even then, if it already, insects already crawl in your room, it's already too late. You know, it's not like you could just tell, hey, get out, and they'll go out. No, you know. You have to actually end up killing the insect then at that point, and by then it's already too late. That's weird. When I said it's already too late, I feel like a hand go by across my face or something. That was really weird. Oh man, so it's really weird. So these swamp coolers, beware. They are not bug-proof, man. You know, and it is not solvent, you know. You see, the way a swamp cooler works is it has a compressor, that little thing right there. And then it draws air from the outside and filters it in. So through that air, you know, you get all the stuff that the insects can seriously push their way through. You know, and I never want to take that gamble again. So I completely blocked the swamp coolers out, man. You know, and I'm really thinking about portable air conditioners, you know. It's nice. I could put it in my van when I'm driving, so I'm really thinking about that, man. And if it's portable, I could just get one and switch it in the room. So, I mean, it's crazy, you know. I wish I didn't have to get to this, but I hate swamp coolers. Because the coverage for it's too expensive, and even then you got to be staring at it every second, making sure nothing crawls in, and no one has the time for that. We all do stuff. You know, we get bored. I mean, even if we're watching TV in the corner of our eye, it could slip in without us noticing when we watch TV. So it's a mess. It really is, you know. And I don't take that gamble, you know. I'd rather just block the thing off completely, you know. I hate swamp coolers. I really do. People think that they're so perfect and they're bug-proof, and people think, oh, they're so nice, and no, they're not, man. You hear horror stories. I watch. I believe I can even show you proof on Google that bugs get in through our swamp coolers. Now, why do they call it swamp cooler? What, it smells like a swamp? It's weird stuff, man. Watch, look. Can bugs, insects, crawl in through swamp coolers? Aha. You're going to see horror stories here. Bugs invading the swamp cooler. See? Ask an expert. From ask.extension.org. It said, we have had 2 bouts in the month of July of these flying, single-winged, 2-section bugs invading our swamp coolers. See, this is proof here. I'm not crazy, man. I know these things are doorways for insects to just seep into our rooms. It is not good, man. You know, we don't want to be startled in the middle of our sleep when roaches are crawling in through our sound coolers, crawling on us, waking us up from our sleep. It could give people heart attacks if they're very young or old. It could give people traumatizing experiences. I mean, all kinds of things. It can make people jump off the bed and they accidentally land on their face and head, and they could probably break their neck. It could kill people. It can kill. Man, I keep forgetting to plug in this. Oh, this thing gets on my nerves, man. See, this power cord, it keeps snapping out because it's magnetic, and I forget to plug it in. Then other times, it's connected in and it shows it's not plugging. Oh, that thing gets on my nerves. Okay, so it's already the 50-minute mark. We're going to have to wrap up the topic of the day and get into the EVP. So this is proof right here, man. You know, it is real, you know. Insects invade our rooms to these stupid swamp coolers. I do not like swamp coolers at all. You could try screening, put screens on it, but if you use that cloth over it, and like my dad would say, oh, it's going to cause a fire hazard and the whole house will explode into a giant fireball. It's like, come on, man, you know. And it really gets to me, man. It really does, you know. So anyways, this right here, the story said, the problem with these ants as a nuisance showing up in the swamp cooler in short term, I'm not sure why they are in the water of the swamp cooler. So these were in the water also. It's weird stuff, I'm telling you. Look, another one. LasVegasSun.com. What a cranky swamp cooler can teach you about life. It says, in the pantheon of household demons, the swamp cooler is right in there with the worst of them, sporting goat horns, insect wings, and all the kinds of insects that can enter your room. See, these swamp coolers, man. They're a very big concern, man. A very big concern. I guess that's why they called it swamp cooler. Because it's like, hey, swamp, it lets everything in. It's like they made fun of us on purpose by giving it that name. The inventors of these things, they pulled one on us all, and they were laughing at us to our faces by calling it swamp cooler. Like they were telling everyone, hey, you put these in, you're going to have your room turn into a swamp. Ha ha ha. And they're laughing every second of the way at us. This is very evil stuff what they did here, man. You know? I mean, why couldn't they just have made it where it blocks off 100%? Even if they're like microscopic gaping holes, it's still, these insects, man, they're microscopic. I believe roaches are like, start off as microscopic baby roaches. And they could fit through those small little holes from a screen as well. Before you know it, they're crawling in your room, laying eggs, and multiplying. This is crazy stuff, man, you know? It's very concerning. I remember in the summer last year, they were big, man, like this big. A roach this big. How on earth did that crawl in through the swamp cooler, man? I was like, oh my God, when I saw that, I was just so traumatized. I said, enough, man, enough. You know? The stories are there, man. It is real. Look, let's see here. I believe this one is it. Look, city/data.com. It says, your swamp cooler will spin its little fan and drip water down the pads. No air will come in through the pads. You'll just spend money for nothing. And insects can crawl in. You see? Man, I'm telling you. Look at this. Swamp coolers will make air fabrics smell musty and moldy after time. You see? It makes it smell like a swamp also. It can weaken the surrounding of it, which creates holes for insects to come in. You see, this is disturbing stuff, man. I say this not to really freak you out, gross you out, but so you can see how horrible these things are, you know? And how we shouldn't depend on these things to make our rooms cool. I mean, I know the summers are bad, man. A regular fan can't do it alone. So I recommend portable. air conditioners, the plug-in ones. And you could throw ice cubes in, and those few ice cubes could last all night long, all day long. And even if it's a plug-in, it's power conserving, you know? You can have it on a low setting and run it all night, and it won't make the electricity bill go up so high. So this is big stuff, I'm telling you, man. Let's see here. It's all here, you know? 3 reasons why swamp coolers are not as gross as they sound. Okay, so this one's trying to make them sound good. PopularNetwork.com. It says here, the VW Bug car is equipped with an old-fashioned swamp cooler. I don't know, man. There's so much proof that, you know, they do come in. So I was trying to give credit to them. Yeah, right. Let's see here. We're seeing the same thing. The air passes, and then the surrounding walls, they get wet and they start to degrade, and they start to cause holes, and that allows the insects in. It's horrible stuff, man. They push their way in, they burrow in, and they're small. They're small enough to slide in, you know? This is what's really concerning about swamp coolers. Swamp coolers are very archaic, you know? We shouldn't have to depend on those stupid things, you know? Look at this. Bugs crawling under your skin. Burrowing into you and gnawing and biting. Look at this. Certain bugs have been found that they can chew their way into the padding of swamp coolers. See? So we get insects that they bite. Even ants. What they do is they start to bite the padding on swamp coolers. And that's how they create these holes for them to, you know, march into our rooms one by one. So this is, you know, the proof is there. The jury is in on this one, and swamp coolers are not good at all, man. Not good at all. So that's what happens, you know. They chew their way through. They push their way. They're microscopic insects, and they push their way through. Even roaches. You know, so it's very, very crazy stuff indeed. So now we'll go ahead and do a marathon EVPs here. And I coined that phrase, man. Marathon is ready to do some last minute EVPs real quick. Okay, here we go. So this was a very big topic. I didn't want to have this topic to gross you out or anything, but to make your skin crawl or anything. But I hope it can help you to knowing the dangers of these swamp coolers and how it lets insects in. And also finishing up, to stop the bottom of our doors of insects crawling in also, is put those little rolls in where it covers it up. Now my mom always tells me of these sonic things that plug into the outlet and it emits a silent beep and all this. I mean, yeah, that's nice to have, but you also need to quarantine your room as well, you know. So it's like, tell me. I will go ahead and get the EVPs going. Hopefully we get EVPs that talk about the horrible swamp coolers. Now, if you're people who work with swamp coolers or sell swamp coolers, I hope you don't see it like I'm bashing. You feel the work and all that. I'm just saying, you know, if you can find a way to make these swamp coolers better, that's what I recommend. Tell your company to, if they can fix these problems that are involved with swamp coolers. So here we go. Alright, let's see here. So many words, man. Hard to piece them together. Let's see here. Let's see here. It says, the situation is moving. The situation seems to be moving right. Other things they don't do, or something like that. I don't know, man. Basically talking about how situations are moving and changing into certain things, so that's very weird. This one has the words Hungary, silk, tulosa, bribery, night, clergy, insulated, filtration. So something is hungry, like it comes from the place Hungary. Silk, tulosa, bribery, night, clergy, insulated. I don't know what this means here. So instead of filtration, it said flirtation. Like flirt. That's weird. We'll go ahead and do 2 more and we'll call it a night. Okay, here we go. Because I really don't like to have the video longer than an hour because it might people not click into and watch, you know. So I hope the hour-long video doesn't seem too daunting of a long video for you all to watch. You know, if you want to fast forward the news, is okay. As long as you watch the topic of the day and a few EVPs. So I try to really, you know, I'm not trying to do a 5 or 10 minute video a night here. I'm trying to create like an actual talk show here going, you know. I want to have like actual famous people, you know, talking with. An actual talk show. I'm trying to get this started, you know. I'm trying to create a real powerful talk show. And the last 2, here we go. This phone got the words, "You will be surprised by aura." Could this be talking about the auroa borealis? Hopefully that we will see them all over the world and regularly over and over. Because the auroa borealis are only seen up north. Only once a year. Hopefully this seems that God's going to catch the world by surprise, man, and show these auroa borealis throughout the whole world. Hopefully on a daily basis. So that's a good one here. Hopefully this could be a prediction that God's going to be showing auroa borealis all over the world on a daily basis. Hopefully. Let us hope and pray. That would be very awesome, man. And then scientists will say, oh, it's the solar flares. They're getting so strong that the whole world's seeing it. Really? We'll find out. And the last one has the word brack, like a bracket, brack. Ocular, like the Oculus Rift. Ocular means to oculate, to turn. Monarchy, that means like a government of a monarchy. Coral, like the sea coral. Urchin, like something is urgent. Or lurchin, lurking, insects. Let's see, Botulimus. Okay, next word is whirl. WHORL, like whirlpool, like something is whirling, turning. I will tell you many things. This next one, Aryanism, that's the white brotherhood. They're racist, so like Ku Klux Klan, Aryanism. Morphine, that's a drug to make people sedated. And marquee, that's like a scrolling sign. And mahogany. Mahogany is like a type of color, a type of fabric maybe. So could anything in here be talking about EVPs? Did the first one talk about EVPs? This one was weird. It was telling me that aurora borealis is maybe coming, so that's really interesting. Silk. I heard that maybe certain spiders create silk, so that's weird. Anything else about these swamp coolers? Let's see. Insulated, like insulation. Could be that. Instead of flirtation, maybe it said filtration, to filter out insects. So I believe I'm seeing a connection here that these words we're talking about swamp coolers. Swamp coolers, man, a very crazy thing. So let's see here. Urchin, lurking. Yeah. And so those are the main words that could connect to these swamp coolers. So hopefully that is talking about that. This one right here is very fascinating. Hopefully God will be showing aurora borealis throughout the whole world. Hopefully on a daily basis. So very exciting stuff. So if you could please tell everyone you know about these horrible coolers. I know I've been saying the word swamp cooler I must have said it so many times. So I believe this would be one of the last times I talk about swamp coolers. So that'd be if you could tell people how to quarantine our rooms, how to bug-proof our rooms. Block the source off from the air ducts and the swamp coolers with screens. Because even screens, they can still get in. So what I do is I just completely block them out, and get some portable air conditioner. They use ice cubes and all kinds of stuff. This fancy stuff for very affordable, So you block the source out from them coming in from the ceiling, from the roof, and block them from coming outside of the window. Block them from there. Then block them from the bottom of the door. And that's how it's a real powerful 3-step. 1, 2, 3, boom. And you have your room secured, quarantined, bug-proof. And you can also have those sonic detectors you plug in that emits a loud beep that only they can hear. But even then, it's not going to make them go running under the door, It won't even make them deter them from coming in. They could still come in, So those things are not a foolproof thing either. They talk about them like they are, but they're just another tool, So, to bug-proof our rooms, And I wish everyone knew about this, because it makes me sad, when kids get waking up from their sleep from roaches crawling on them in the middle of the night. And elderly people, they can have heart attacks, It's just, it makes me sad, that so many people are succumbed to these horrible insects, and how they don't know how they can block them out, So I wish everyone knew about this topic. So if you could please tell everyone you know, and hopefully it could spread. Hopefully this could be a movement of information, to really block out these insects, because they're horrible, man. Horrible, horrible stuff. So we'll go ahead and end it there. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please tell everyone you know to share and to like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully We can all make our rooms bug-proof, amen? So please tell everyone you know about this important topic. Hallelujah. Good night. Peace.